Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jackie.
I don't really know where to start, but I think you know where to start this week on our season 1, episode 6 now. Can you believe episode 6? We've been doing this for a month and a half of the Rockers Skating podcast. So welcome, everyone.
Yeah. So last weekend in my, patriotic British haze of seeing Oasis 2 nights in a row, I neglected to watch Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson's free dance before we recorded the episode. And I watched it the next day when I got home and I thought, oh my gosh, we need to talk about this.
I want to know.
The free dance is great. It's Scottish music. It's got a couple different pieces in it. It's got like 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. It's got a couple different more like traditional pieces. And there are so many little nuances in this program that I think are so effective and so creative. And I think the program's still not quite, ready to be performed like full out yet. You can see they're still like getting into it. But when it's there, it's going to be huge. And my favorite piece, they do the 1-foot turns, and then at the end they do like these back and side scratch spins as they finish them, which is so creative. I was just delighted. I thought it was just fantastic, and I can't wait to see it again.
Well, there are a lot of kilt truthers out there for Lewis.
Yeah, I know. Where's the kilt?
Maybe the kilt's coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, you still have to wear pants underneath it, under the current.
Is that true?
rules.
Oh,
I think so.
wear like jeggings.
No tights. No tights for men.
Flannel jeggings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's a little bit of the amuse-bouche for this week. The main course is Lombardia Trophy, which, unlike the first 2 Challenger Series events, I felt like this one was a big one. I think Kinoshita, we had that like crazy sort of women's Japanese nationals staying on the women's side, and that was really, really great to see. This one was very much, it was internationally big. It was internationally big across both the singles disciplines. And that was a really kind of just generally fun early look at what could possibly be the dynamics of this season. And when you have Ilia Malinin and Yuma Kagiyama and Adam Siao, the 3 medalists from 2024 Worlds competing at a Challenger Series event this early on. I mean, it's just, those people in Ice Lab watching live, I must have been such a treat. So let's start with the pairs, because the one thing I wanted to talk about with the pairs is this event was actually not a Challenger Series event for the pairs. And so there are only a certain number of the Challenger Series events that are pegged to pairs disciplines, right? Mostly because there's a lack of like a whole bunch of pairs internationally, whereas there's a whole bunch of ice dance teams internationally, and so you just see those all the time. But that said, Sarakanti and Nicolo Machi probably wanted this to be a big hurrah for them, and it was, I think, a big hurrah for them. 2:15. This is a bit of probably a little bit of domestic scoring, given it's not a full CS event. But still, they skated super well. I feel like their programs are already very strong early in the season.
They look great. They've done some really good work over the summer, and I was surprised by how good they looked right out the gate.
Yeah.
So early. It was, they're hungry.
It was a statement. To see. It was like a statement of like, we're not just trying to get on the podium. Like, we really want to get ourselves in the conversation of even the gold at the Olympics. So and it's a home Olympics, so you got to think that's a motivating factor there. Ghilardi Ambrosini with the silver, 188, still a strong showing for them. I think they are hoping to get back some of the greatness that they had a few years ago. And get that spot for the Olympics, and it's going to be tough. And then rounding out was Valesi Bidar with the bronze, and they are going to
they'll be at Chinese Nebelhorn.
They will be at Chinese Nebelhorn next week.
That was a good start for them. We'll see what they can do.
170 is a very strong we were saying this last week. It's probably going to be if you're in the 180s, you're pretty good. You feel pretty good about getting the spots. If you're in the 170s, you have a good chance. If you're in the 160s, you're on the bubble. So that's probably where it is. And, I think they will want to be better than where they are this week, the Palesi and Bidar, in order for them to get that spot. Okay, dance. The first thing I want to talk about before we even talk about any of the dance is a withdrawal. Another withdrawal in the ice dance world. We talked about this in the news of the week part of this, but Paulino and Tuba skated their rhythm dance, finished behind Manny Roethlisberger. And so the reason I wanted to talk about this, and the hardcore skating fans and the Chinese double horn enthusiasts will know that Manny and Roethlisberger were the original entry for the Italians into Chinese double horn. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a internal sort of ice dance showdown amongst these teams, and Paulino and Tuba ended up winning that, and therefore got switched into the entry spot for Chinese double horn. We have no idea what's happening here because, one, Manny Roethlisberger beat Paulino Tuba in the rhythm dance. Two, we didn't see a free dance from Paulino Tuba. And was it the Italians being like, we're not going to get another lower score going into the all-important competition? Or is it like, I don't know. I mean, I'll be curious to see if there are any switches this week in the last minute. But I don't know. That was an interesting one for me. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a little Italian mystery.
I would love to. A lot of Italian mysteries.
I wish I were there because I would like to talk to some people and see if we can figure out what's going on. But I'm also wondering about the World Junior Champions, Italian La Fornara, who lost to both of those teams at the ranking competition and then were entered to Lombardia and withdrew. So I want to know what's going on with them, and I want to see them. I really thought coming into this season, they were going to be the ones that would be on top, would step up, would be going to Chinese Nebelhorn. And that seems like they've had a little bit of a setback. I don't know what's going on with them, but yeah, hope they're well. It's, I know. I want to see all this. I want to see all the skating.
Ice dance storylines never cease to be interesting, I guess. Okay, let's actually talk about the skating. Peyton Bai win their first Challenger Series event.
Lion King.
With Lion King, which I'm sure they had to pay a good amount of royalties for that music because we've heard other skaters wanting to do Lion King and deciding not to because it was too expensive. So they must really like this music. The free dance really worked for them. Mraskova Mazek, you know how to pronounce their names better than I do, I think.
Katarzyna Mraskova. Yeah. I think it's Mraskova Mrazek.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mraskova Mrazek, silver. And the free dance I thought was generally conceptually good.
Yeah.
But then just didn't execute terribly well. And I was holding my breath with that large skirt the entire time.
Oh, yeah. Their free dance, I feel like there's a lot of really strong moments in it, but there's some new material for them that I think is challenging, and then they're kind of getting used to putting it in there. There are also kind of a few things that sort of like I was so surprised by. They like took me out of the program, like their opening choreographic spinning movement where Katarzyna had her legs around Daniil's neck, and she was just sort of it's like something you see a pair team do in a gala, and he was spinning her. And then their choreographic slide where he was sort of like dragging her by her leg and she had her hands on the ice. It was sort of just like, whoa, what is going on? But, as the season goes on, we get used to the program and you get used to integrating this stuff. I think it'll smooth out. I was happy to see that their trademark speed is all over that program. They are just flying. The skirt is billowing in the wind. Yeah.
Something about the Czech ice dance teams that and the Czech brother-sister ice dance teams that just bring out the power. Love that. What else? Wolfkosten Sarevsky getting the bronze just behind Mraskova and Mrazek. And both Peyton Bai and Wolfkosten Sarevsky went over 110 in their free dance. big scores for both of those teams.
Yeah. I've spoken a little bit negatively about some of the 90s music selection and thinking like the treble was too high and whatever. But Wolf Kostin Sarevsky's Backstreet Boys Rhythm Dance is so much fun. I was so into it right away. I loved it. It was like they just had great pieces in there, great edits. It made you want to dance, which I think is the idea. I was
made
very
you want to
entertained.
go to Vegas. Made you want to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I want to go to the Sphere. I want to see them there.
I thought what was also interesting is the potential also teams that are going to Chinese double horn next week, including Ignatieva and Zemko, who got 6 here with a 159. I think with the ice dance, you've got 5 spots next week, and we'll talk much more about this potentially sometime in the midweek before the competition starts. But, I think you got to be in the 160s to get one of those 5 spots, I think, at least.
It's going to be really challenging in dance.
It will be. It's a tight field.
Yeah. Ignatieva and Zemko have, I think, another year of their Joker free dance, or it was a Joker adjacent theme. I feel like every time I see them, he has green hair and makeup on, and I need to watch the rhythm dance. But I was like, whoa, he's very inspired by the Joker, apparently.
What else, Michelle? Anything else given your ice dance enthusiasm?
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about the JGP dance, but we can get to that.
Oh, we forgot to talk about 8.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just talk about the JGP dance.
Okay.
We're going to go a little bit off the road here and go back to Junior Grand Prix in Thailand.
I was so delighted by the Americans that they started their season there that all the other Lombardia ice dance sort of receded into the distance. I just was so excited by them. Hana, Aboian, and Daniil Veselukhin, who trained with Melissa Gregory and Dennis Petchikov in Connecticut at House of Diamonds Ice Dance School, House Haus. They're amazing. Hana Aboian is a superstar. Her expressiveness and her performance ability. And they have a Madonna rhythm dance, and it's Vogue. And they worked with a real Madonna dancer. And they also had Oksana Grishuk working on their choreography this year, 2-time Olympic champion. And she worked on their free dance too. And it's like, they're so exciting to watch. They have such a an aura on the ice, and just the dynamism of the presentation. And then in the free dance, Hana was wearing a unitard with a huge cape in the back. It was very Klimova, Marina Klimova, 1992. I was all about it. I was loving this. And Melissa and Dennis are doing amazing work, and they're the coaches of Tali Lafornara, the world junior champions. So yeah, I'm excited for all their teams. And
if you don't know Michelle Ellis from her lore series in ice dance with the run through, go to the run through and listen to it, because it's all there. All the fangirling fangirling and expertise from Michelle Ellis's ice dance brain is all there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thrilled that Gregory and Petchikov decided to call up Oksana Grishuk and be like, hey, come work with our teams. I mean, she's such an incredibly talented ice dancer, and I feel like hasn't been involved in upper levels of dance in recent years. So it's cool to see her influence. And Aboian and Veselukhin, they do a rotational lift right at the beginning of the rhythm dance that was a classic Grishuk and Platov lift, where Oksana was tucked and he just had one arm up and was kind of swinging by it. It was a cool little throwback. While we're on the subject of the Junior Grand Prix, I'm going to finish actually talking about the Junior Grand Prix, and then we'll go back to Lombardia Trophy. In pairs, Guo and Zhang ended up winning and now qualifying for the Junior Grand Prix final. They're good news for everyone. Their quad twist was credited this time. I don't think there was anybody who was going to not do it this time around, given the noise that came out of the last Junior Grand Prix. And so they are through to the final. Also through to the final is Ryo Nakata, who skated even better this time around, although his scores were actually lower than when he was in, was it Latvia? He had a weird fall Grand Prix after a second quad. So. Yeah. But his quads are just they just float. They're butter. He's just hang time. It's amazing. But it's that same thing that we were saying in his first competition on the Junior Grand Prix, where he really has figured out how to skate this season and how to compete. And there's a swagger about
how he's skating that we haven't seen before, which is really, really good to see because he's such a talent. Patrick Blackwell getting second for the U.S. He's been known to have ups and downs on his programs. We saw him at U.S. Nationals last year skate a really strong short and then just combust in the free. And so good to see him being able to put two good programs together here and be able to get to where he got to. And, now he's put himself in contention for the Junior Grand Prix final with the silver. And then I think cult favorite Yan Hao Lee, Dwayne, as he is commonly called, getting third, and a strong skate from him as well there. He had a fifth and a third, so got to be really tough for him to actually qualify for the Junior Grand Prix final.
Do you see who presented the medals in the men's event?
I was about to say, we haven't seen this Olympic champion in like a decade. Evan Lysacek was in Thailand. Because he's married to a Thai woman, right?
Maybe he lives there now.
Yeah, he could be living there. He made an appearance presenting the medals.
I was thinking, when was the last time I saw him at a skating event, like in person? And I feel like it was 2018 Nationals in San Jose. It was the last time.
Evan Lysacek, where have you been? All right, let's go to the junior women. Mao Shimada finally making her debut on the Junior Grand Prix this season. She did a domestic event earlier in the season and skated very well there. This was not her best, and we've seen this in the past where a couple of mistakes early on and the pre-skate kind of gets a little bit mangled, and it's obviously high expectations for someone like her, but it's surprising to see her not on the very top of the junior women's season best scores right now, and I think she's second right now, but still comfortable win. Human, we all make mistakes.
She seems to really love her new short program. She's so enthusiastic in it, and I'm happy to see that. I don't think she can ever top her Wicked short last year, but
that program just got better and better and better as the season went along. It was so good.
Yeah. I worry about the psychology of it for her, for, having all this success and having fame and skating, and then still having to go to these small competitions in smaller venues and still being a junior and continuing to be motivated. And I think seeing her enjoy herself, at least in the short, is reassuring. She's having a good time.
I mean, you better believe when next year comes around, she's going to be running onto the ice.
Hurricane Mao.
Yeah, exactly. May Okada getting the silver. She gets to the Grand Prix final after winning in Latvia. And then Jung Yo Hwang getting the bronze. I want to talk about Hana Bath, who would have been on the podium if she had not made if she had not gotten her jumps invalidated because she did too many repeats. But she did 2 triple axels in that program. And she's one of those who's really improved over the past few seasons. And, first Australian woman to land a triple axel in competition, and she's got a bright future ahead of her. All right. So that is the Junior Grand Prix. We've taken our detour and we're coming back to Lombardia Trophy because we have 2 big things that we want to talk about. Let's start with the men, because that's, I think, still fresh on people's minds, given that it was today. Ilia, Yuma, 1-2, both of them watering down, quote unquote, watering down their programs, their free skates. One, because early in the season, I don't think either of them were looking to come here with everything in their bag, although Adam Siao came here with everything in his bag. And Yuma also having a bit of an injury to his foot, and there was some concern about how he would skate because of he's recovering from injury. He skated really damn well, and there was something I was talking about this in the recap that happened right after. There was something about both of them not putting all of their technical in, where I was like, I can kind of breathe and relax while I'm watching these programs, as opposed to feeling like I'm on the edge of my seat and tense. So it was good to watch. And, for Yuma to get a 190 with one landed quad and a step and a hand down and step out on the other quad, and that's it. Like that's a huge score for him.
It's what that program deserves.
Goes to show, right, the quality of that program.
Yeah. I was happy to see Yuma rewarded. I still think his components could be higher, should be a little bit higher. Even getting a leg cramp in the middle of his short program, I felt like his components there were they were lower than they should have been, or at least in terms of who's winning components here. I felt that was not. I was just like, what? But not to take anything away from Ilia Malinin. I feel like he skated really well both of these, and handled some weirdness going on with the music, and I feel like Yuma has such an amazing commanding free skate that's clearly designed for the Olympics, and for his music to start before, which happened to Ilia, where you're clearly skating something totally different, a little bit experimental, and for that to start and remind everyone you're not skating to that is just, no Ness and Dorma here.
I mean, that Ness and Dorma program, the way that it's already that good. In September, I can't wait to see it in person. Like it's gonna be such a moment to be able to just like watch that in person. And we were talking about the other competition where he debuted this program, and it was like this sort of aerial camera, and you could he was sort of small, right, relative to the frame of the camera, and you could still see him projecting, and the posture, the lines, the way that he presented that program was all there, and you see it in a much more professionally filmed one that was at Lombardia, and that makes a difference. But it also reinforces the fact that he's just so good with that music, and he's already so comfortable with that music that I enjoyed it a lot.
He really lives in it. It's just carries you away. I just want to keep watching it over and over again.
Carries you away.
It does.
I love that. It does.
Yeah.
What was interesting about Ilia's two programs was that they are, much like with Yuma's programs, they are very much within his comfort zone, but a little bit pushing, pushing his envelope a little bit, right? Yuma is the same thing. It's the stuff that he likes, but he wants to push it a little bit. Nothing too out of the box, but it's there. And the thing I appreciate about Ilia is he knows what he's good at, and he knows, like, he's been building on his strengths, which for me, the short program especially built on his strengths of these like really innovative shapes, and the way that he can just like kind of manipulate his body to just do stuff that you don't see other people do. And I'm not talking about backflips. I'm not talking about the raspberry twist. I'm talking about basic choreographical movements that he and Shay have been able to put in there, and they're really just like, you see an Ilia program and it's an Ilia program.
Yeah, it's impactful. It sort of has its own character, and you really like remember these images from it.
Yeah.
I liked his short program, I thought, until the very end when it got into the rap section and the step sequence. I feel like saving all of that to sort of do it all back to back, boom, 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 all the little snapshot moments. It was very Plushenko-esque. It was very TikTok. I'm sure it'll grow on me as the season goes on. But I was pleasantly surprised by the first half of it. And I thought in the free skate too, the spoken word is it's a little bit. But the music, the rest of the music and the composition of the program, I thought was very nice.
I agree.
And that's his voice saying those words. I don't know who wrote those words, but yeah.
Very Star Andrews. But
past is not a chain, but a thread. Pull it and it may lead you home. Wear sunscreen. You get my reference. Baz Luhrmann.
Yes.
My brain immediately goes there, and no one on skating Twitter is making references to that. I'm just like, I guess I'm old.
Michelle, you and I are a product of the early 80s. So yes. But I thought what was interesting about the spoken word was like, I didn't recognize his voice. Two, I was initially a little bit like, I don't really need the spoken word in this, but then I got used to it. And once he sort of drew me into the program, I sort of forgot about it, which was interesting. Agreed about the composition of both of those programs being very strong. Just like Yuma's program, it builds. Both of these pieces really build, and both of them skate to that level of the intensity of the two pieces very differently. But they both do it very well. What I appreciate about Ilia, again, the sort of push to make different shapes and work the spatialness, the spatial kind of movements that he has, but also he wasn't telegraphing his backflips. Like, they were really
they were out of nowhere.
They were really out of nowhere, integrated into the programs. The backflip was integrated into the step sequence of the short program, and there was no interruption to it.
I liked how he kind of did it at the beginning of the steps, or like the choreo sequence, because it was, he did it and then he did the rest, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to pause in the middle of my steps to do this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I liked it better. It felt like more impulsive and
and he landed on one foot. Can we get a triple Sao cow out of it, or a quad Sao cow out of it? Please don't do that, Ilia, please. Not this season, at least. So that you and I can go on for Ilia and Yuma for the rest of this, but Nikolai Memola.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how he has stabilized his quad lutz.
Yeah.
Because all last season we saw him just trying to stabilize it. I think he did 3 of them here. And he did one in the second half of his free skate.
Yeah.
And his quad lutz is like bigger than he is, which is a crazy thing to say because he's like the tallest person who has ever skated. And his quad lutz is huge. It's like half the rink. And I was impressed that he was able to do it. Just did it in the short, no problem. And then the free skate, he did it. It was like his third element. And then it was his like first pass in the bonus. And he just nailed both of them. The Italians like worked really hard this summer. He and Conti Machi, I was both of them. I was pleasantly surprised. And I feel like the narrative now for the Italian men is who's going to the Olympics with Memola.
I think so.
I don't think anyone's knocking him out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Memola last year last few seasons really have had ups and downs and ups and downs. You get these like big scores from him, and then it's sort of like, well, where to go? And so, you get a 265 from him here and a bronze medal, and, beating Shun Sato, beating Adam Sao, beating Kaomura, beating Matteo Rizzo, right? Very, very convincingly. And you hope that he's able to carry the momentum, because I do think he puts a lot of pressure on himself. I think even more than most skaters do for themselves. You can see it. You can see that much. He really wants it. And you never want that to be the thing that sort of kills your momentum. And I hope he's able to continue it. There was a lot. I have so much to talk about here. Shun Sato having a kind of a weird short program where he tripled it, like he turned his quad lutz into a triple and then just did a tiny double toe out of it. And then he comes back and skates a basically clean free skate. Well done. And the Japanese men, right? Like, it's so variable right now.
Yeah,
outside of
fingers
Yuma,
crossed, because they're all coming off injury, and who knows how injured they are still. And they're all competing a lot, and it's,
outside of Yuma, you don't really know who the second and third are going to be. And, you had Kazuki skating super well last week. You have Shun's skating well this week. Kao had a great short program here compared to what we've seen from him, and then kind of fizzled in the free skate. But, you can see them like knowing that each of these competitions count so much. And they want to be able to prove themselves, right? They want to be able to go into nationals not feeling like if they got third at nationals, there might be a potential for them to get knocked off because somebody else skated a lot better earlier in the season than they did. So a lot of probably intense moments over the next few months with this group of guys. Should we talk Adam?
We must. Oh, Adam.
Well, we finally saw the programs after being
Yeah, I mean,
blocked from view
I
at
don't
French
know
Masters.
I guess protect the process. I mean, I'm worried about his physical condition more than I am about the choreography. And then I think my biggest concern is the short program costume. It was, for anyone who didn't see it, it looked like a bodies exhibition. Like if one of those came to life and decided to go skating. He had sprayed on abs and you could see, the blue blood and the red blood and the arteries and the veins. And there was a little bit of a French flag kind of look to it.
I was wondering if it was a French flag.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been perfectly fine with that costume had it not had the chest and abs.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it too. It looks like one of those like bathing suit covers that has like the funny print on it.
I think like the colors are actually really nice on that costume. I like if they just got rid of the musculature. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even just in the front, because like in the back, the musculature feels a little bit more abstract. Like you don't feel like you're looking at a back muscle, right?
Yeah.
Like that's that's Adam's delts. You know? Like that's not so much what it is. Yeah. But the front is just like it's so obvious. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Polarizing. I said in my first recap, and somebody was like, "There's no polarizing here. There's only one side of the pole." I don't know. I think there are some people who probably like the costume, but it has been attracting a lot of attention.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes the uniqueness that Benoit Richaud is adding to his choreography and presentation is detracting a little bit from the
program.
Plot. Yeah, the program.
Because those two programs I actually really like. And I agree with you. There's something to the sort of the distraction of it that you're like, okay, do you necessarily need that? But what viewers may have noticed is that he ends the short program in a pose that he starts the free skate with. And so obviously a signal or a very, very strong statement that this is one continuous program in two parts. And we've seen this before. And it's been done very effectively, right? Dennis Ten had that with the artist. Mao
The German dance team did it.
Oh, yes. I remember that. I was going to say Mao Asada had the ritual fire dance that she did, and then the German team, I forgot which program that was.
Ziganshi Nagazi.
Yes, correct.
They did it the year after Dennis Ten, and they had, oh God, I want to say it was like a 20s, like a Charleston short dance, and then they had a whole narrative where they met at a club and they danced, and then they went for a walk and like fell asleep on a bench, and then they woke up and then they skated their free dance, and it was very clever. I'm sure Adam has a cool story to tell us about how the programs are connected.
I'm excited to hear more about the narrative of those two programs. They're very strong, and I did like the second program, the free skate, more than I did the short program.
Agreed. Yeah.
It felt more him, like personalized for him. The short program felt like a Benoit Adam collaboration versus the free skate feeling like an Adam program that Benoit choreographed. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I wasn't also crazy about the music cut that he used for the short program, because when I hear that piece, my thought immediately goes Savchenko Musso. And they skated it at such a high level. And I feel like Adam is such a distinctive skater who is also kind of trying to reach this really high level. I mean, he's trying to get an Olympic medal here. I mean, I just complained a minute ago about him doing things that are too unique. I want to see a little bit more of a unique piece of music selection for him, Yeah.
Can't have it all, Michelle.
I don't want to be thinking about Alyona Savchenko when I'm watching him. I mean, I'm always thinking about her in that free skate, but like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Also, some interesting things I wanted to talk about too. Andreas Norderback skating very well. He's already got a spot for Sweden for the Olympics, but we know the Swedish Olympic Committee is very stingy, or has been very stingy about whether or not they approve figure skaters to go to the Olympics. And for him to show and prove that he can be with the best in the world, which he did here, that's very important. Luke Economide getting skating very well, much better than he did last season, I thought. And doing a quad Sao, it was at least under, I think it might have been a downgrade, but he put it in there for the first time. That's also going to be interesting, given that Francois Pitot is going to be going to Chinese Nebelhorn. And so what happens if they get that fifth spot? And, does Luke still have a chance? I would think so, given that given his performance here. And then Kirilo Marsak, I just love that guy skating. Watching him sort of fly across the ice, I've always just loved the sort of grandeur of his jumps. Like when his quad Sao hits, so beautiful. And he did it, I think he did it twice at this competition. And he gets a 2:23.20. That is probably far and away enough for him to get one of those spots for the Olympics. So that's going to be important for him to keep that momentum going. Max Naumov, what do you think of his programs?
Free skate was beautiful. I hold my breath when he in the short program popped the axle. It's just early mistakes. I think he's sort of known for those occasional, pops or random jump mistakes in competition, and just would like to see him sort of, put the jumps together. But I thought the programs were nice, especially the free skate. It was beautiful.
I mean, he was skating to In This Shirt, and we've heard that music so many times. I really appreciated the way that they arranged that program, and the composition of the music was so good. And I was saying earlier in the recap, this section right at the end or near the end where it goes out of the regular music and goes into this sort of very quiet piano sort of interlude before the ending of it. He just does these moves down the ice that are so good, and it shows how much he cares about the musicality of the piece. And
he's always been so musical.
Yeah, I thought that was a real big highlight. One of my favorite segments of programs of this weekend. So that was the men. Lots to say about the men, and I'm sure there's plenty more to say, but we got to move on. Women.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh, so much happened.
Yeah.
I mean, the top six were all very good, and they had a very strong set of short programs.
Yeah.
They had a very strong set of free skates. The mistakes or the pops or whatever it was, those were the differences, and that ended up being the difference in the end. Rion Sumiyoshi loves Europe.
Yeah. God, she was good this weekend. Her free skate. I mean, I love that she kept the Earth Mother free skate. It really works well on her. I love a headband. I feel like it's a really nice vehicle for her skating. Those last three jumping passes she did were so strong. Triple Lutz, triple toe in the bonus. Looks like she just started the program. I mean, she just was flying. And I forget how much I love her skating sometimes, and then she'll be really on and just think wow. Still trying the quad toe, was downgraded here, but she's still going for it. She's still saying I'm going for this.
Sometimes I like that she is still going for it, and sometimes I'm just like let it go. I just it just feels like if she could just put down clean skates, which has been hard for her in kind of consistently in multiple competitions. You keep going 209 in your programs this season internationally, and you're daring the Japanese committee to say no to you at this point. Because that's a strong score. A 209 in an international competition probably will translate to a 215, 220 domestically at nationals. So, we'll see where that goes. Ami Nakai also, I thought she was a surprise. I was not expecting her to skate as the way that she did. I was not expecting the improvement that she made. All really good.
Well, it's interesting. Both of her programs started with a really wild fall and a triple axel. and then she got up and did the rest of it really well. I really am entertained watching her jumps and like the kind of the whipping that she does into them, and her rotation is so quick. And then she just sort of like falls gently out of them, like she has so much airtime because she gets the rotation done so quickly. It's like a tornado. It's interesting. I was not a fan of the free skate. I felt like the cover of like What a Wonderful World, it was very saccharine. It was very one-dimensional. She seems to like it though, so yeah. She skated it really well.
So what was interesting was 1-2 after the short program was Alysa and Sarah, and then 1-2 after the free skate were the Japanese women. So they did a little bit of a switcheroo. Sarah Everhart beat Alysa Liu.
Sarah Everhart, Kim, she did that gorgeous triple Lutz, triple toe in both programs. I saw that and I was like, Yuna is here with us. It was beautiful. And I love that she hit it. She went for it in both programs, got it out. It was great.
Yeah.
Her jumps are so beautiful. I was excited to see the, maturing of the program, the short program, the river dance, and her new free skate to Poor Things that she did with Shaylin Bourne. It was interesting. I could see Shaylin gave her a lot of choreography to work with and to sort of develop her expression. Yeah. And I think you really see it, her working it out.
It's a hard program. I mean, Poor Things is a weird movie and a weird vehicle, and for it's not a rom-com, right? Like there are different kinds of emotions that you have to deal with and demonstrate for that program to be successful. And so I think it's a good challenge for her. It reminds me kind of sort of Lindsay Thorngren, challenging choreography that she had with Sandra Bezic, and that helped Lindsay Thorngren grow as a skater a lot, given that she was working on that, and you hope that Sarah will have a similar trajectory as well. Okay, Alysa Liu, two things on this. One, Leve sequel, which I thought was very how do I say it? It's very like apropos, right? It's very symbolic of her journey over the past couple of years. It was literally, last year's program was about her retirement and how she wants to leave the thing that she loved. And this year it's about being in love with the thing that you're in love with, right? And it is symbolic of her career and her comeback, and I think she feels it, and it shows in that, once again, her short program is much more well-baked for her than her free skate is. It's similar to last year when the first time I saw the Donna Summer free skate, I was like, I'm not really convinced.
Yeah.
And it got so much better as the season went on.
Yeah. I agree with that. I feel like the short program is much more developed at this point than the free skate, and her heart is much more in it. I think my biggest issue all around was with speed. I think, especially watching the last group, like Rion Sumiyoshi was flying. And I felt that Alysa, her speed, her lack of speed was really noticeable. And I think that, especially in the free skate, took away some of the delivery, like the impact of it. And hopefully that improves as her conditioning improves and the season goes on. But I think that it really impacted the way that I viewed the programs.
I mean, I think stamina is an issue right now, and as it was early in last season for her, and agreed on that, because if you're skating to 4 minutes of Gaga, you really have to bring 4 minutes of Gaga, and it wasn't there. Are the elements for success there for her? I think they are, but I do think that the short program, I remember watching the short program and being like, you are flying across the ice, and then I watched the free skate, like you said, it's like, okay, you're actually holding back because you're trying to not exhaust yourself before the second half, and you saw her doubling that triple Lutz in the second half. She rarely doubles jumps, right? And that's just a sign of conditioning right there.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people online were unhappy with the Gaga edit and then the composition of the program. They felt that it wasn't like sufficiently Olympic, or it wasn't, I don't know, mature enough or something. But I feel, I have to say, admittedly, big Gaga fan here, but I liked, and I love Mayhem, but I liked the edit of the music. I liked the choreography. I just felt like she wasn't giving it the energy it needed to carry it off.
Right. Reminded me actually a little bit of when Mariah Bell did Britney that season, and the first couple of times you saw it and you were like, what? like that you're not working, B. And by the time nationals came around, it was like, oh, or actually no, it was like there was like a Trophy de France competition where I was like, oh, you get it now. And I think there's a little bit of that there. I mean, Alysa has said herself that she likes Gaga, so it's not like it was forced upon her.
Well, you have to think about like Gaga is like the most aggressive performer. She always gives like 1,000% on stage. And so like when you hear those songs and you see someone moving to them, you want to see that level of almost like a deranged amount of energy.
Yeah.
And when it's not there, it takes you out of it a bit.
Yeah, it needs to be really big. Okay, let's talk about the complete opposite, which is like someone who was very much into those programs. Lara Naki Gutmann.
Loved it. I like, she makes me want to watch every single element she does. It's just so much thought and care and like shape in every position she hits. And I think that's like some of the best of skating I've ever seen her do. She was she
just keeps getting better and better. And she will get these components at some point. Like 61 or whatever it is for her free skate was not is not appropriate. I have to say I think the short is better skated right now. I think the free is still I felt like she was a little bit high on her knees and just a little bit less, down into the ice than she was in the short. But the concept was I mean, she was the shark at the beginning, and then she becomes the water, and then she's just like
and the spin.
Yeah. Oh God, the dorsal fin and the camel spin. Just I could not.
Yeah, it was cool. It's like a very accessible concept. She's doing it in a way that's unique but very visually understandable
and not cheesy.
Yeah, and there's just a way she moves her body and she commits to these themes that is so engaging and just like it's just so good.
Anybody who is daring enough to do a Jaws free skate would have come out with a costume where it looked like they were bitten in half. Like that, and you didn't see that with Lara Naki, right? Like you saw something that was a little bit more abstract, a little bit more subtle. You could see that there was maybe something there. And then she was the shark, right? Like that you called her SharkNaki for a reason, and she told me she loved it.
Yeah.
And so that's that would be the trademark for this season.
Yeah, it's like a blockbuster film, but she has this like artistic maturity in the way she approaches it.
Yeah. I look forward to continuing to see that. And also, if Lara Naki Gutmann can continue skating like this, competition in and competition out, you're going to see Grand Prix medals from her. You're going to see European medal from her. You're going to see top 10 at the Olympics. I mean, like it's just, I'm putting the cart before the horse, but she just has so much to give. And I am glad the skating world is seeing it. And I'm glad that she, as a skater, exists in a world where a lot of skating can look very similar. And she really brings something different to the table.
I think it's cool, too, how she sort of bloomed where she was planted and she's still working with her same team and she's not in a big training center and, she's still near home. That's cool.
A few other ones that I wanted to just touch on before we wrap up today. Seoyeon Kim skated 190 for a Korean skater who was, I would say, not barely even in the radar. And now she is very much on the radar after this competition, getting sixth. Rino Matsuike, I know.
Just always breaks my heart.
I know.
Gosh, she's so special. And if she could just, it's weird you think about skating and all these, we talk about all this stuff, but ultimately like the mental fortitude to really compete and deliver those programs becomes so instrumental no matter how much other stuff you have. I just, starting her short program with like a popped axle, it's like, girl, you have everything. It's
Let's hope she can bounce back from this one. She also has just so much to give. Those programs are magnificent.
Exquisite. Yeah.
A couple of skaters, we've talked about this already, who are going to Chinese double horn next week. Is Olivia Lisko on the docket for Finland?
I'm not sure.
If she's not, she certainly earned it this week. And then Josephine Taljagaard, not as strong as she was looking at the Swedish test skate. So let's hope she's got those under rotation jitters out of her, and girl, just land half your jumps in good position and cue the other jumps, and you'll be fine. Like that's all you need. Like let's hope. And so yeah, I think there are a few who are going to be kind of right there for next week's competition, and we will certainly talk more about that over the next couple of days. Maybe there'll be a special episode this week where Michelle and I go and preview Chinese double horn for you. Okay, as we wrap up here, Michelle, what are you obsessed about today?
I'm gonna go with Sarah Everhart's triple Lutz triple toe. It was beautiful. It was huge. I loved it.
I mean, I'm just gonna be really basic here, and it's Lara Naki Gutmann's shark camel.
Yeah.
Shark camel.
Shark camel. There you go.
Shark camel.
Shark camel.
I just so subtle that if you don't see it and you don't kind of understand it, you're like, oh, it's just an interesting arm position. It's like, no, she's the shark, and she's coming to get you. So you better watch out. Okay, well, on that note, we are now over an hour, and there's so much to talk about, and we didn't talk about everything, but I'm so happy to do this with you every single week.
Me too.
And probably more than that going forward.
We're going to be doing these like daily by the end of the Grand Prix season.
I mean, do people want it daily? Let me know if people want it daily.
Like the New York Times.
Yeah, exactly. The daily. All right, folks. Well, that wraps up our episode on Lombardia Trophy and a little bit of Junior Grand Prix of Thailand today. For Michelle Ellis, the Super Oasis fan who is now a Super Fear and Gibson
free dance
fan. I am Jackie Wong, your chief skate nerd of rockerskating.com. And thank you, as always, to Tara Nichols for producing us. And then also a big thank you to our marquee sponsor, John Wilson Blades, who, if it weren't for them, this would not exist right now. So thank you so much. And we will see you again, or you'll listen to us again next week or this week. Bye.
Bye.